Now the games: volleyball, tug of war, swimming, and diving. Olympic-like enthusiasm embraces the games of the 9th Annual Summer Jamboree Nationals. A medley of motorized activity highlighted by floor exercises where 5-ton trucks use scrap iron for a balance beam and dirt ramps for a vault. Style points are not important, but sticking a landing is. It's heavy metal going for the gold. Closing ceremonies from Bloomsburg are next. This is Trucks and Tractor Power, featuring the best in MTRA monster truck racing. Today, it's the Summer 4-Wheel Jamboree Nationals from the Bloomsburg Fairgrounds in Bloomsburg, PA. This is stop number 7 on the PENDA Truck Accessories Point Series. Welcome to Trucks and Tractor Power. They told me if I came up and covered the event, I'd get to drive a monster truck. I was hoping Bigfoot, maybe Barefoot, but no, it's Tinyfoot. That's okay, though. We're going to find a way to make this thing do a wheelie for the crowd. With more on today's action, here's my buddy Army Armstrong. Army?
Better you than me, my friend. Tinyfoot. That's appropriate. Bigfoot, Hulkster, Monster Patrol, Rampage, and Barefoot. That's your quick 5. It's 486 out to a 509. Monster Patrol could be the story, qualifying under 5 seconds. Another story, Alan Peasall. Seems to have a ton of problems here. Last year he had a problem, broke a rear wheel off, tore up a lot of suspension pieces. Earlier races here, he blew a motor in competition. He did get into the program, but he wasn't going to stay past the first round. Meanwhile, Mike Vodders with the Black Stallion rolled out, Tom.
Yeah, he usually crew chiefs the Boogie Van. You'll see on this pass, he qualifies with a 6.09. Now, this would mark the first time a husband and wife would qualify for a round of eliminations.
And their fate was not to get much better as Mike Vodders goes out after the first round, suffering the same fate as Alan Pizzo. First round blues. This blue is a Bigfoot blue with a 531, Tom.
Well, his wife Pam Vodders would meet up with the same round 1 opponent she had in the first race at Bloomsburg, Mark Hall, the Executioner. Hall, you're going to see here, takes out the Boogie Van, but Pam comes back as the fast loser with a time of 5.40, and there's the Executioner with a time of 5.11. Now, Fred Schaefer in the far lane taking on the Dungeon of Doom. Fred is going to take round 1, you'll see here. But you'll see that it comes at a price. Look at that landing.
Yeah, he landed real hard, collapsed a little bit of the left front suspension.
We told you about Paul Schaefer's 4.99 qualifying run. Well, in round 1, he proves that it was no fluke. Taking on the Undertaker, Calvin Carrington, Schaefer stays in the fours with a 4.84 and talks to Army about it.
Paul, you guys with the Monster Patrol seem to have found that elusive 4-second barrier. You seem to be locked in the 4s instead of the 5 now, which is making you real competitive.
Well, my motor builder, Van Simmons, we've been changing the cams and working on the truck a little bit, and we got it going. I think my motor is coming around, and I think we're going to run faster and faster.
Let's take a look at where we're going to be advancing to the semifinals. Round 2 action has Bigfoot, Boogie Van, Barefoot, Monster Patrol, Executioner, and Rampage, and Hulkster and the Dungeon of Doom. All trying to get to the semifinals as Marvin the Martian sits atop one of our show and shine trucks. We'll be back in a moment.
Welcome back to Bloomsburg Fairgrounds in Bloomsburg, Pennsylvania, where Ford Trucks presents the Summer 4-Wheel Jamboree Nationals. Now let's send it down on the Midway to Tom Rivers.
It's become a tradition. The weekend after the 4th of July, folks from all over the eastern seaboard gather here in Bloomsburg for monster trucks, mud racers, show trucks, and buying tires. Sound funny, but it's true. Tire America is the official tire retailer here at Bloomsburg. And they started a tradition years ago, their suppliers did, of giving Tire America deep discounts to move tires here at the show. They pass the savings on to all the folks who buy tires here. You can save at least 20% on tires bought here at the show. And that's why Tire America will sell more than 1,000 tires at this one show, this one weekend.
You know, that's one of the many manufactured Midway stories we got to tell. But right now, the story we're going to be talking about is Pam Vodders, the Boogie Van, the only woman driver on the circuit, and she'll be going out in competition out of Hagerstown, Maryland. But Pam will draw none other than the old Bigfoot himself. Yes, folks, your current national points leader, a man that has not been beaten all year long, has not lost a race, has not lost a round. Dan Runte out of St. Louis, Missouri, will line up against the other lady in the other lane.
Well, you hope that she's going to be able to give Dan a run for his money, but I'll tell you what, if I were lining up next to Dan Runte, I'd have to be thinking,
he is in the zone, if there is such a thing.
No question. Yeah, I'd call that the zone.
I call that the end zone, is what I call that. Look here, a 477, and she ran a strong run. He goes to 77.
And that 477 is the low ET of the race so far. Well, we get ready for our next pair of monster trucks, Paul Schaefer and Fred Schaefer. Let's send it down to Army with Dan Runte for after a strong run in Bigfoot.
The license plate kind of tells the story. #1 truck, USA, Ford, Bigfoot, unbeatable all year long, a 477. Is there going to be any stopping you at all?
The truck's running great. I got to thank Ford Motor Company. Fords are the best. We know it. We're just out here to prove it. Eric's truck's running good. The two trucks are real consistent. A lot of guys are coming up here. I mean, they're all getting a lot tighter. We got to watch what we're doing, and we got to keep getting tight. We'll see what happens.
No doubt. You know, Fred Schaefer took that nasty landing in round 1. As we've noted, Paul Schaefer has the Monster Patrol really running well here this weekend, Army.
Yeah, like he's found the elusive barrier he's been looking for. He can run under the 5-second barrier all the time now. That takes some pressure off of him as a driver. He can concentrate on the start now, not the performance on the other end. Whoa, major upset, Tom Rivers. Check it out. The Chevrolet puts a Dodge on the trailer. A 502, not the greatest number in the world, but it looked like the Dodge had problems in no man's land.
I tell you what, let's take a look at the replay, because you'd think he owned this ground the way he was all over it.
If that's the case, he's got change coming, pal, because something went wrong. Bad wrong. Oh, he just came off that first jump crooked. Had to backpedal on it. When he did, the Chevy went to the other end.
Yeah, no question he was having some trouble on that track. Well, it wasn't bad news for all the Schaefers, though. Paul Schaefer had a good run, and Army Armstrong is in the pits talking to him.
Well, you hunt, you look, you scratch, you pull, you claw, and everything till you find the right combination. How does it feel to finally find that right combination?
Well, it took me all season to get it together, but the Van Sinners engine and the cam we changed, I think we're going the right way. Now I think if we can just freshen up our motor, and it's tired, but if we freshen it up, it'll go a little bit faster.
I don't know that he needs to go a lot faster, but he might. Pulling up to the line now, Mark Hall in the Executioner and Todd Freilich in Rampage. Two guys who are going to try and make him go faster.
You know, it's an interesting story here. Freilich in the Rampage closest to us is in a great truck, plenty of horsepower and everything. They just can't seem to get the cars to fall away. Mark Hall, man, this kid has clawed literally from the bottom of the pile to be a major contender. He and his brother have got this GMC truck running great. So it's going to be a toss-up on this run. You do have corporate involvement with the Dodge. Privateers for the GMC camp on the far side. Oh, another upset, Tom. Did you see that? The GMC, something again went wrong in no man's land for the Dodge camp, and the GMC product just motored it out the other end.
Boy, it sure is nice to see that, as you said, the Privateers come through and qualify. Rampage had a problem. Maybe we can get a look at it here.
Something happened in no man's land. Now watch the front end. See, he's on 2 wheels all the way.
Already
Still
up.
on 2 wheels. Now the front end touches, and that kicked him a little bit out of shape. He has to back on the throttle. Meanwhile, Hall keeps motoring on the other end.
Well, that replay really shows the attitude of Mark Hall's truck. It looks great, and Army's with him in the pits.
Mark, I tell you what, you are doing one fine job of driving this truck.
Well, thanks a lot, Army. That means a lot. You know, Tim's back here. I don't know what he's doing back there, but he's doing something right. You know, it's probably one of the smallest motors here, and so we don't have a whole lot of motor to work with, but whatever he's doing, he needs to keep doing it because we're rolling right along.
They are rolling right along, and it's great to see that because no two guys have worked harder for it than those guys.
Well, like you said, the Hall brothers have got the mojo working, and they're using everybody they can find out there right now.
Well, we got a new driver in the Dungeon of Doom. It's Eric Tack. He's taking over the driving chores for Sky Hartley. And we're talking about the fiberglass body. Eric, of course, from St. Louis, Missouri, but in that very uniquely fiberglass body of the Dungeon of Doom.
The theme body style seems to be a fad coming this way. You're looking at the Hulkster, and of course, he's got the big belt and the big arms and everything that all the kids can identify with. You know, this could be something the sport needs to look at. There's an identity thing here, and a lot of the drivers are saying, well, this doesn't look like a truck or what have you. But then again, what about the safety factor? Are you blocking the view of the driver that normally you wouldn't have? This is something that the rules committee, MTRA, is going to have to sit down and look at real hard, because there is some sponsor money coming from this direction, and that's what all racers need.
Boy, Army, it looks like the Dungeon of Doom needs, well, more horsepower for one thing.
Definitely going to need some horsepower. Eric Meager, a 488. What do they say? If you're going to be the man, you got to beat the man. Well, Eric Meager showing he is the man. You know, the only monsters and weird-looking trucks weren't in the monster truck corral today. Welcome back to Bloomsburg Fairgrounds as the fans are checking out the Fords display. Speaking of Fords, we got two of them in the semis. Let's check down with Tom Rivers.
For those of you that can't make it to Bloomsburg or one of our other monster truck events, you can still play with the monster trucks at home on your computer or at work on your computer with a CD-ROM. It was developed by Microsoft along with Bob Chandler. It's called Monster Truck Madness, and it's great. You get to decide the truck you want to drive, whether it's Bigfoot, Barefoot, Gravedigger, Rampage, Snakebite, or Samson. Then you can adjust your gears, tires, and even your suspension, and then you can decide what track you want to run on, the RCA, TWA, or Tacoma Domes, or even at the Indiana State Fairgrounds. It's great. The announcer's actually pretty good, too. Of course, he's no Army Armstrong, but then again, who is?
Monster Patrol is doing it in the air.
Speaking of Monster Patrol, he's still alive in the action. That keeps alive the hopes of the Chevrolet fans. And the camera angle makes him look like he's in the air, but right now he's going up against the baddest of the bad. If we were in a gunfight, we would know only one's going to walk away. That's the name of this game. Who's he going up against? The boys in blue out of St. Louis. I ought to name this thing the St. Louis Blues, because everybody that goes against him winds up singing the blues. Dan Runte on an unbelievable run this year. But you can't take anything away from the Monster Patrol team. They're reeling this team in. Monster Patrol, the privateers. Runte's involved with some corporate involvement. So let's see what's going to happen here. Chevrolet versus Ford, as both drivers very cautious about working into the starting beams, Tom.
Well, Dan Runte's going to be hard to beat on this, but we'll take a look and see if Monster Patrol can do it. Let's watch. Not a chance.
Yeah, we're playing hand grenade. We would have been close on that one.
Dan Runte and Bigfoot runs a 4.72.
You know, the whole thing is the Monster Patrol Schaefer's is running strong too, but a 4.72, you just can't beat it.
Let's take a look again. You'll see how
the truck settles down right here. See, when all four wheels hit, it pulls straight. Everybody else is having trouble when those front tires hit after a wheelie. Nah, these guys just pull like it's on a chain or a rope. It'll pull them to the other end.
Pull straight through. Looks great. Let's have Army check with Dan Runte as he climbs out of Bigfoot.
Big number, Dan, a 4.72. That is just fast.
It's getting faster every pass. It's actually getting scary fast, if you ever heard anybody say that before. The truck's doing great. BDS, they've helped us out, like I said before. I can't say enough. I don't even know what to think anymore. The truck's getting so fast. Fords are best, and that's all I got to tell you.
Well, you got to believe in your product, and Dan Runte certainly does. Scary fast is the term he used as Mark Hall in the Executioner and Eric Meager in the Hulkster pull up to the line for our next run.
I don't see what could be scary about taking something that weighs 10,000 pounds and flying it through the air like an airplane and landing like a bomber. Yeah, just another day's job. Ford and Chevrolet battle on the line. The Hulkster, he'll represent the Ford camp. That'll be Eric Meager doing the driving. The Hulk Hogan sponsored vehicle, and the kids really seem to like it. We were talking earlier about the different designs. This is another one of the creation that comes out of the Wentzville, Missouri GTS fiberglass shop with George Link. He'll be going up against a more traditional looking GMC, Hall Brothers GMC truck in the lane closest to us.
Boy, look at that. Eric just, it wasn't necessarily a fast run, but it sure looked like a Sunday cruise at a 5.65.
They make it look so smooth. The reaction of the truck, again, this truck does the same thing Bigfoot does. Watch it. When all four wheels touch down, it doesn't dodge left or dodge right. Watch what it does. It just goes straight, and you can't ask for anything better. Now the question is, who's going to get lane choice in this next round? Because both trucks cannot run out of the same lane. I know that because I read the rule book.
Well, we'll find out, but first we're going to send Army down to check with Eric Meager as he opens up his hatch and jumps down out of the WCW-sponsored vehicle.
Eric, the Hall Brothers team, you can't take a thing away from those guys. They run you hard every time, don't they?
Oh, they sure have. They're coming on strong, really competitive. A lot of good trucks are running exceptionally good here today. Track conditions, lanes are of big importance here. It's hard to tell, I'm sure, from watching. But this blue truck we're up against next, we're definitely going to have to work on him too. He's been beating us up all year.
Eric's crew chief is Jim Kramer, who is also a driver himself, a championship driver of monster trucks, giving him a little advice about the finals. You're seeing the Midway here at Bloomsburg. Some beautiful trucks and great folks. Coming up, it'll be Dan Runte with Lane Choice as we continue on Trucks and Tractor Power. Stay with us.
For those of you who like to take home a little grit in your teeth and mud in your hair after a day of motorsports, we have the tape for you. Look out, cover the furniture before popping this baby in the VCR. It's Shake, Battle, and Roll 4. The latest installment of this popular series from Diamond P Sports delivers all the hard knocks from the world of monster trucks and mud racing. And also features the heavy right-footed action of the tough truck competition where bravado wins out over common sense virtually every time. To get your copy of Shake, Battle, and Roll 4, call 1-800-952-7878 or send $19.95 plus shipping and handling to the address shown on your screen. Visa, Master, or Discover cards are accepted. That's 1-800-952-7878 for Shake, Battle, and Roll 4.
The four-wheel Jamborees are part of the Special Events Performance Series, featuring a weekend of four-wheel fun. Check out the manufacturer's Midway. There's also several categories of show and shine competitions. Contact the Special Events Promotion Company to find out when a Jamboree will be near your area. Welcome back to Bloomsburg. You want to talk about truck animals? How about the tough truckers? Army's down to one of the all-time Bloomsburg greats right now.
When tough trucks started, a lot of people were doing it just for grins and giggles, but guys like Jan Kluckner started making names for themselves. As a matter of fact, I'm standing with a guy who's notorious around the country. Everybody seems to know you. You come out here this year with the two-truck team, and you're still having fun. Is that right?
Definitely. We have a good time out here. It's one of the last few things we can do, not spend a lot of money.
But Jan was thrashing, trying to keep that two-truck team afloat. You'll see he's going to get underneath one of them right now. He's best known for imploding his windshield a couple of years ago, but he keeps going out, pulling those Wagoneers out of junkyards and giving them that one great weekend of glory before they go to the junkyard in the sky.
Well, everybody gets 15 minutes of glory. He's got about 9 guys worked already.
Well, this year it seemed to be a kinder, gentler Jan Kleckner, and this is his best effort you just saw there. His teammate in Free Willy is Mark Wojciechowski, who you'll notice is sans the fin this time.
Yeah, we talked to Mark earlier. He and his crew decided that fin, or dorsal fin on top, is costing way too much top-end speed. That's what they said.
Well, you know, it could really slow you down.
Exactly, yeah.
Meanwhile, Dwayne Tressler is real busy, taking it real easy.
Yeah, he and his crew have already locked up the ugliest crew in the event competition. Now it's up to him to just try to drive the truck quicker than anybody else.
Well, Dwayne's out of Greencastle, Pennsylvania, and calls his truck Blazer from Hell. That's his name for it.
Not ours. And you're going to see why right here. The final jump. Listen to the crowd. They get into this.
Oh, they love this. And here he comes, and he hits the tire. It's Katie Bar the Door on Sundays, and these guys make their Sunday pass. They give it everything they got.
They put it on kill, you know. They got all year long to either brag about it or explain why it didn't happen. They would much rather brag about it. Hey, this little Jeepster's getting through this thing now.
Thomas White is all the way up from Fayetteville, North Carolina. Nice maneuvering around the turns. He calls his 80 Jeep Twister.
Yeah, we've seen him before on the circuit. He's actually following it for points, I believe.
Yeah, that's the Bondo Point Series. But Waynesboro, PA's Larry Ferguson took the wildest ride of the weekend in his Jeep. You'll see he's coming down for his final pass at the tire, and
goes over. And they're not chasing a Bondo Point Series, just the Bruco Frame Straightening Series Point Championship.
It was one of those series. You'll see Larry's walking away here, neck brace in hand, and Army talked to him about the run.
I come around the corner and the throttle stuck. I just held on for the ride.
Were you having fun?
Yeah, oh yeah.
I think that's what tough trucking's all about.
Oh yeah, that's what's about.
Well, tough trucking and monster trucking here in Bloomsburg. And the final is going to be, of course, Dan Runte in Bigfoot versus Eric Meager in the Hulkster.
And these guys are not here for the fun of it. They want to, like an old-time slapping contest. I'm very serious. These guys are good friends until right now. They're both back in the pit area. They're psyching themselves up. They have not made eye contact in the last 30 minutes. They're going to race. The blue truck wants to beat the yellow truck. Just as bad, the yellow truck wants to beat the blue truck. This is what it's all about. Wow. Race.
Boy, that was a nice run on the part of both drivers, but Dan Runte in Bigfoot carries it off with a 4.73.
Blue Bayou on the other end. Man, what a run by Runte. And Eric drove him a good race. These trucks are just about evenly matched.
Look how similar they look on the run.
Exactly. Both trucks handle the same. Hey, tip of our hat to the guys in the blue team. They're looking good.
Yep, it was margin of victory was just by a nose. And Dan Runte the winner. Here's Army with him.
Did it again.
Guys, real quick, what do you say? Perfect season. Hadn't even been beaten in a heat race yet, or a lap, or anything. It's perfect. But how do you keep the tempo up?
It's Fords. That's all I can tell you. I mean, it got a great group of guys. The trucks are going out there running good, both of them. I mean, semifinals, you know, you come out of that 0.2 of a second different. You can't say any more than that. I mean, all the way back to the shop, it's just great. Ford Motor Company, BDS, all them guys. And
well, Herb said he taught you everything you know.
That's pretty close to it.
That's why they call me old man.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Army. Thank you all.
Congratulations to Dan Runte, crew chief Herb Richards, Bob Chandler, and the entire Bigfoot gang. Take a look at the PENDA Point Series current standings. Bigfoot at 8,900, followed by the Hulkster, Barefoot, Rampage, and Executioner. That'll wrap it up for Bloomsburg. For Army Armstrong, I'm Tom Rivers. We'll see you next week on Trucks and Tractor Power.
Tom Rivers still trying to figure out how to make the Littlefoot do a wheelie. Trucks and Tractor Powers is a presentation of Diamond P Sports in association with TNN, the Nashville